Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be talking to Jamie-Lee Abtar, who is the Executive Director of the Black and Asian Minority and Minority Ethnic Women in Travel Group. Hi, Jamie-Lee.
Hello, Mary. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come and chat to you.
No, it's been something I've been looking forward to. It's been in my diary and we've been trying to sort this out for a little while now, so I'm really excited to be talking to you today. Okay, now for those of us or those watching who don't know, tell me a little bit about the Black and Asian and minority. I told you I couldn't say it.
I know it's a tongue teaser, isn't it? Twister, sorry.
Minority ethnic women in travel. What's it all about?
Okay, so the Black Asian Minority Ethnic Women in Travel was launched in 2018 as part of the Women in Travel social enterprise, which was founded by Alexandra Alonso, and they recognize the real need for having that representation for women from those backgrounds, and she launched it in conjunction with Yolanda Osai, who was the previous executive director, and I took over from her in at the beginning of February this year. And the real goal and purpose of the BAME in Women in Travel is to assist Black, Asian, and minority ethnic women in the travel and tourism industry to fulfill their economic and individual potential through training, mentoring services, aimed at fostering entrepreneurship and employment, really.
Wow. I mean, the timing of it is so relevant as well. And we're going to be seeing changes in our hospitality sector. And do you feel that your the timing of this is good, is crucial?
Oh, it really is. I mean, in turn, for us particularly at being women in travel, women are already quite at the disadvantage when it comes to COVID-19 and job losses and being, the first to kind of be let go and the ones that work at those lower skilled levels within the industry. So it is a challenging time for a lot of women from a minority ethnic background, and we've been putting on lots of different mentoring circles. We've got the opportunity with the feast program. I know Alexandra came and I spoke to you about that a few weeks ago. But we launched during COVID as well. We launched our lunch and learn sessions, which were free and really just gave women the knowledge and the information on different things like business development, self confidence, personal branding, all these different tips and tools that they can use to help them as they prepare for the new normal, really.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're transitioning at the moment. I was very interested to read all the information you sent me, particularly about the aims and objectives of your group. I mean, there is four strategic goals that I've picked up on. Do you want to talk me through each one of those, and we can pick up questions as we go?
Sure. The core purpose of one of the things I did forget to mention is that we also work really closely with corporate brands. So we really help to really address that racial inequality as a societal, moral, and business issue. So that's really kind of whole four core purposes were born out of. So that's how we really work with travel brands to champion for more racially diverse travel industry, really. The first one is all about setting targets, setting tangible targets, I should say, to increase the level of BAME representation within the hospitality and travel and tourism industry. So as we all know, if you don't, what's the saying again? What doesn't get measured doesn't get done. So that's what that aim is all about. So we go in and we work with we are committed members. We host a initial 1 hour session with their senior leadership where we sit down and have a real open dialogue and discussion. And then we work on these different various core purposes, with the first one being setting tangible targets, After that, it's all about, breaking that BAME glass ceiling and boosting the profile of these existing women and employees within the travel industry. We have seen that there is a challenge when it comes to seeing those individuals from those backgrounds in senior leadership positions. Is almost like, something happens after almost like middle management. So we working really hard to with organizations to see how can we help to progress those individuals further up the career ladder. And then third, it's all about raising the profile of existing BAME employees. And this is one of my favorite ones, and it's all around representation. I really believe that representation matters, and you need to be able to see those physical role models in order to know that you can also achieve those things. If you don't see yourselves represented in positions of a CEO of a of a company, of a major company, you would never think that you could possibly achieve it. So this aim is all about creating those what we like to call breakthrough to excellence. For me, I call them breakthrough to excellence stories. How can we highlight them? And we plan to launch our podcast in October as well, which is all going to be around highlighting those exceptional talents from a Black, Asian, and minority ethnic backgrounds within the travel and tourism industry. And the last purpose, sorry, our last core purpose, we've got a big mission to fill. Our last core purpose is all around, those best practice guidelines, creating those best practice guidelines and those actionable toolkits that brands can use and take away to develop their skill set. For example, we launched our allyship toolkit yesterday. You can find that on our website, www.womenintravel.cic, under the resources section. You'll find some of our resources there.
I can hear Alienza in the background.
Yeah, she's at home. A few more days before it's back to school.
Listen, we're good. This is good. We're all living in this. This is our new transition normal, isn't it? I want to go back for a minute, and I just wanted to say that I think it's amazing, and the more we can push for diversity and inclusion within the workplace, the better we can be. And I think that any support that you need is that, and anybody watching this who thinks, oh, I want to get involved, I want to find more, I would heartily recommend it, because all the goals and strategic aims of your organization are really, they chime totally with what's happening out in the wider, workspace, if you like.
For sure. I mean, when we look at it, particularly for the travel and tourism industry, when we look at it, we are an industry who is all about connecting individuals, connecting people from different races and different cultures. And we need to continue to be a leader in diversity and inclusion within the industry. And how are we going to target those new diverse audiences, this younger market who wants to see and wants to spend their money with companies who are socially responsible? So our committed membership to the BAME Women and Travel really does give organizations the practical steps, and we work with you on a one-to-one basis to help you to develop your process. We don't expect it to be, it's not a cookie cutter thing, of course, because every organization is slightly different. So we work with you on a one-to-one basis to develop a strategy for how you can be more racially diverse within your organizations, really.
I think that's so important, because we at caterer.com, we've done research into this, and we've been talking to Shireen Daniels as well about diversity. Yeah, she's amazing. But the information is there. The buying public are moving towards a more almost responsible and ethical way of spending their money and choosing who they spend their money with. And diversity and inclusion and equality and equity are all really important now, and they're going to become more so, I think, as we go on.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree with you 100%. I mean, when you look at, as like, that call out, you got that call out culture. I call it the call out culture, where this younger generation they go on social media now. They want to make sure that the brands that they spend their money with are socially responsible, 100%, particularly the Gen Zs and the millennials market. They want to make sure that you guys are socially responsible. They're going to check out. And it's a two-pronged thing. Not only are you attracting them as consumers, but how are you going to attract that new talent who wants to make sure that the companies that they work for are, one, socially responsible. So how are you going to, so that's why it's so important for, I think, organizations to really take diversity and inclusion seriously, especially now where we are in this COVID-19 period. I guess it's easy for people to say, it's COVID-19, we don't have any money. No, diversity and inclusion goes all the way to the back burner. But I really do believe that if we are going to build a bigger and better travel and tourism industry, that diversity and inclusion has to be on the agenda, because it's not only a massive societal benefit, but there's a huge economic benefit to it as well for businesses. Businesses that have a more racially diverse leadership team but perform 35% better in the top, have a 35% more better financial returns than those that don't. So there is loads of white studies, loads of white papers, and I just encourage people to do their research and really take it seriously.
Jamie-Lee, I am totally with you on this. Every word you said, and particularly about reaching your talent, because younger talent wanting to come into the industry is, as you quite rightly say, going to be looking for businesses that fit their societal beliefs and their criteria for ethical employers, I suppose, is one way of putting it. Going back a step, you mentioned training and mentoring within one of your core objectives. Give me a little bit of an idea about some of those courses that you're going to be running.
So coming up in terms of our courses, one, we have our mentoring circles, and you can find more information on those on our website. But we have their mentoring circles, which I think are so. I actually took part in one during COVID-19, and I credit them for getting me through what was an absolute crazy time. So I look forward to those bi-weekly phone calls to catch up and be held accountable by other, females within the travel industry who were, feeling the same thing that you were feeling. So I really strongly believe in those mentoring, the support circles. I think it's a fantastic opportunity. We have a call out for more mentors. We want more mentors to step forward and come forward to help us to support our community of amazing ladies. And some of the programs we have coming up in terms of training right now is more around racial diversity. In the end of this month, we are hosting our racial diversity master classes. This is a 3-part series. So we'll be talking about allyship. The next one will be around recruitment. So BAME recruitment, how to really attract those individuals. It's not only just attract, but attract, retain, and see them progress. So we'll be discussing that. And then the third one I'm super, super passionate about because my background is marketing and advertising. That's what I do. That's my other life. So I really am passionate about how can we change the narratives that we currently have within, media, press and media, and how we could include more diverse voices into travel media as well and advertising. So those are some of the things we have coming up. Our International Women in Travel Forum is going to be next year as well. Obviously a lot of our stuff has been slightly moved, altered, twisted, turned due to COVID. But next year in March, we'll be hosting our conference and looking for a sponsor. So I'll just put that out there. So we'll be doing that.
I'll write that down on a piece of paper. I've written it down. I mean, that's a good segue into something. How can businesses get involved? Why should businesses get involved?
Well, one, businesses can get involved through a number of different ways. You can get involved through our corporate membership, which is I think is one of the most actionable things that they can do, so helping to support the community and us coming in and helping to see how we can support and work with you. At this point, it has been quite difficult, I won't lie, because obviously the environment, the travel and tourism industry right now is not in the best shape, which we know it will return, but it's not in the best shape. But it has been a challenge to get those brands to really commit to, racial diversity. It's not about putting that black square up on your social media platforms anymore, or putting out those lovely press pieces. It's time now that people actually put their money where their mouth is. And if you say that you want to be more socially, you want to be have racial equality as an important element of your business, then this is a perfect way for you to do it through our corporate partnership. As I mentioned earlier, we come in, we sit with you, and we have an open dialogue with our senior leadership. We work on developing one or more of the core purposes. So we decide which one of these core purposes is best suited for you, and we really work on different partnerships to help develop that further. We come into organizations as well and do training for some brands as well. So that's an option for some organizations as well. Yeah. So those are a few of the things.
Well, businesses will benefit without a doubt.
Without a doubt. I mean, it is, I mean, to look at the future of travel and say that we are talking about the future of travel, and now we have such an open playing field to develop and to reimagine and to rebuild the industry. I think now more than ever is the opportunity for us to really take diversity and inclusion seriously. It's time to just take it from a nice to have to one of your a business critical, having it aligned to your strategy and what you aim to do overall for your business. So I definitely think that businesses and travel businesses need to really, I mean, we've been talking about diversity and inclusion for years. We've had the LGBTQ movement, who has done particularly well. We have the women movement, where we are seeing a greater a shift. Now, more than anything, things are kind of slowly, changing. But when it comes to racial diversity, I think that now is the time for us to really take this seriously and to have all those diverse voices at the table, because we live in a diverse global world, and this is essentially the audience who will be traveling. How do we speak to them if within our organizations they don't even exist?
Wow. Yeah, you're so right. One sort of final question from me: how can BAME women, get involved? Where can they get more information? How can they sign up?
Okay, well, how they sign up is they go over to our website, womenandtravel.cic. A pop-up will come up where you can enter your details in there, and you will be added to our newsletter, so you'll receive all of our information on what we do. If you have something more personal that you want to become a mentor, or you're interested in one of the particular programs, just drop us an email at bame@womenintravelcic.com, and just drop me a note and we can have a conversation. And you can also find us on all the social media platforms as well. Feel free to, like us, follow us as well.
Just one thought that popped into my head when you were talking about the travel industry. I mean, it has been hit really hard. There have been a lot of job losses.
Yeah.
And a thought occurred to me. If somebody has lost their job, can they come to you for help and advice on that too? Because I know I spoke to Alessandra a few weeks ago about Feast,
Yes.
and I know that Feast has a finite timeline. So I'm
Yes.
wondering if you're the right person to come to.
Yes, we would be the right we have another program which will be being launched very shortly, for some London-based areas, but it's postcode specific, unfortunately. But as you mentioned, the Feast program, I think we still got a little bit of time on that. So I'll definitely recommend ladies to come and try out, to sign up for that as well, because already this week I've seen, one of the ladies being placed in a job role. Somebody was placed last week. So opportunities are slowly emerging, and it really just gives you the opportunity to develop your personal skills, whether it's your, CV writing, your confidence, just having those individuals who you can really have a conversation with, who can guide and direct you in the right direction.
That's fantastic. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us today before we finish up?
Well, I mentioned that we launched our allyship toolkit. I definitely believe that allyship is a real tool that we can utilize to drive diversity and inclusion within the industry. And I just encourage you guys to go purchase the allyship toolkit. It's a really affordable toolkit. It's really simple. It's a video recording as well as a ebook, e-resource, which you can use with a few exercises in there to get you thinking about, how can I use my privilege to really help someone else? So yeah, that's it really.
Jamie-Lee, it has been a total pleasure, and your enthusiasm is so infectious. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Mary. It was a pleasure.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Will do.